Hello everyone. Hello everyone. This is Mr. 13 Things. I'm going to try to go through here real fast, see as fast as I can talk, and take you through very quickly a one-off, and this is just the one-off on how one goes about getting to the point of being able to kind of develop Khan Academy exercises, not to the level, let me put it this again, not to the level that necessarily Khan is going to take at their site. Now, I don't know that that's a good thing to do or a bad thing to do, but I just want to let you know that the power of what you can do for learners and students of the exercise development engine is not just for mathematics. And because of the great plan, methodical and good plan that Khan Academy has, they're not developing and hosting a lot of other exercises as they build out the math. That will change. So I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to put this out quickly and then edit it down one time, where all the development stuff on Khan Academy is. And so that is, you all should get out and participate in, it is, I hope you can see this, you go to GitHub, hub.com/Khan, and you will see, now I'm going to pull this down, so github.com, and you get to this incredibly nutty space, which is, where all they're hosting their social coding. It's a great, cool site. A lot of big companies using this, and you start to see on the left side here, you see some of the repositories or where they're keeping their code. You see the organization members. It's only 13 people, but there's some other really innovative people that are doing this based on mission, not based on having a job. A lot of these people down here in this are actually interns. They're at places like Carnegie Mellon and Stanford. And of course, they are generally, as a rule, there are programmers. All right. So, but they have spent time, particularly John Resick and I think Ben Kamens have spent time making this so you don't have to be a wizard programmer to make some of these exercises. So that's what it looks like. The other place I'll show you real quick is where they hang, or I'll just say it here, is where they hang out, and that search word is HipChat and Khan, and you'd see the room in which they're basically working, a virtual kind of chat room. All right, so you've gone out to GitHub, you go to Khan Exercises, click on that, and that's where the exercise development framework is. I'm going to point out, if you do this the way I'm going to show you right now, right, which is that, you can basically download the entire repository. So, though realistically, I think they'll do a better job of showing you how to actually make a repository on your computer that is kept updatable. So that as they make their changes on a daily basis, you can kind of update what they're doing for development. So that's just one of the kickers. But you can go here and actually just download a zip file and then install it in your directory. So once you've done that, you've gone on download, you'll have the ability to actually run Khan off of your machine. Right, so you're not going out to the web for it. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out and show you my poorly managed drive. Now I'm going to go to my computer here, my name, and when you kind of unzip that file, right, you get to something that looks like this, Khan exercises, and it has this set of subdirectories. And for the most part, the exercises are HTML files that reside here. And the other place that important things are in the utilities, where the JavaScript file. For those who know, CSS file, cascading style sheet files are there. Images are there. And later on, you're going to see these are important because though Khan is not promoting use of images out on their site, this is one of the ways the non-programmers will be able to get things running on their exercises. All right, so you've got images in two different places. Interesting is enough as they change the directory structure. This is an image used for one of a really cool high school intern developed exercises. So you've got all that stuff there. All right, so you've got essentially someplace where you are. You've got the Khan Academy repository brought down local. I did not make mine using the zip download and unload. I used it making a Git. So we're going to hopefully look for where they cover that well. It's worth looking around, and for your students showing them how all this social coding works. So the company is GitHub. There are other ones out there right now, but what Khan is using is GitHub. All right, so that said, we have now a central repository, and in mine, I'm going to show you, go in here. When you make new things, right, as a rule, I'm going to go with name, right? Right. When you write new things, you probably want to not use the names that Khan Academy has. But for now, let's just see what exists out there and how we go about actually running it. To get this to run well, and this is the caveat now for those on Windows machines, you need to have Python probably installed so that you can run a server, a local server. Apache works very nicely, but you need to make this work well, you need to have kind of a local server running. You do that in this way. You have Python running on the machine, and you know where it is. And then you now have to set your directory to the spot you want to be. So you generally do that by going to the command window. So you don't see it over here, but I'm going to accessories, and I'm going to command prompt, and I see something like that. I get myself in the directory that I want to be working from. Very important. So I say cd khan dash exercises. Okay, so now I'm in the correct directory, and now I have to run the simple HTTP server, and you run it by knowing what directory Python is in. So \Python 27. I installed 2.7 Python. Avoid 3 at this point, I think, or at least have both on your machine. Python, so now that's invoking the Python compiler, I think it's called, or something like that. -M, and then letter capitalization is important for habit, though it's called simple HTTP server. And what that's going to do, it's going to start to run the server, and it runs on port 8000. That said, you minimize here now, and now you can go with your browser. Okay, I'm double clicking, and I'm running Mozilla, Chrome. You know, one of the problems sometimes with some of this web development stuff is all the different browsers, and that's one of the things that Khan, when they're trying to suss through problems or issues, I think they call them on their site, they have to make sure that things run on every browser. Hopefully your students will only be using 1 or 2 browsers. Hopefully they've got Chrome. I'll explain why later. Firefox has got a great Firebug. I don't know, debugger, I guess. All right, so now what you do is you're here, and now this is the tricky part. You have to type in, oh my God, no. Type localhost :8000. And now you are serving off of your the drive that you started. So that step prior where you actually went ahead, and I bring this up there, when you went ahead and changed your directory, get in the right spot, and then ran the local server is an important one. At this point now, as you're running Khan Academy, hit exercises here. You are actually running it off of your local drive. And so as you add your own files and hopefully put some, begin each of them with AAA would be a great idea. I would tell you eventually that probably what you'd like to do is just, if you're going to run this local for your things, get rid of a lot of the other Khan stuff and have your students actually go to Khan Academy for the stuff so you can grab the metrics. We will follow and show you how you can do metrics where it keeps track of what the students do, but this is as much as it is about learning as it is about keeping track of learning, about assessment. You can have them write things down, you can have them do screenshots, and in the end you can have them run it to a local SQL file, MySQL. All right, so I'm going to just go to 1, show you that it is running. I go to absolute value here. It comes up running to the local host, and then you have, you know, the value or the true value in most of this is, in fact, as many of you know, it's not that it checks the answer, that it gives you the hints. So what is the absolute value of 0? It's 0, right? Check answer. Correct next question. At this point, it is not writing out to any server. You notice it's not logged in. So in this case, you've lost some of the metrics, which is a big deal. But it does let you, get around those who are worried about their data being sucked out or getting, going out to YouTube or whatever. This gives you the assessment piece without some of the negatives, which will fall over time. Thanks for listening.